Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to make a video on Nova, because Nova I got recently and she got a big old rework here recently, so I wanted to make a video on her. So Nova, first things first, this is one that I've invested a lot in. You can see my Archon shards here. And then for weapons, I'm going to suggest 2. But before we go into that, let's talk about Nova's abilities. So Nova, her passive, enemies killed while slowed will drop health orbs. Enemies killed while sped up will drop energy orbs. Your first ability, Null Star, it puts these little particles that float around you and they'll fly at enemies and blow up. And then I have an augment, which I'll get into later, that makes it to where when they kill somebody, you get it back. 2, antimatter drop. You shoot out this meatball, you shoot it with your weapon to charge it up, and then you throw it out and it does big old damage. 3, we have roar. You do roar things, it's just a flat damage increase. And then your 4 is your speed up or slow down. I believe default you hold it to speed them up and tap it to slow them down, but I flipped it so that it's tap to speed, hold to slow. Now for our build, I have 3 that I'm going to go over here. 2 that are pretty similar, and then the third one is an idea I got from another YouTuber, which I'll shout them out, or I'll put a link to their video in the comments down below or something, if I remember. So for our main, we have Brief Respite, so when you cast your abilities, it'll give you shields. Transient Fortitude for strength. Primed Continuity for duration. Molecular Fission Augment, which when enemies are hit by your Null Stars, they're primed, and then when they get killed, you get your Null Star back, and it has a chance of giving you 2. Archon Vitality, enemies defeated by heat will give you health back, which this does heat damage, as well as blast. Adaptation, if you don't like adaptation, you could use something like Rolling Guard, and that should be just fine. Neutron Star, which makes our first ability do heat damage along with the blast, and it'll make it do search for enemies with a double radius. Stretch for more range, and Equilibrium for health pickups, giving us energy. And then we have Molt Augmented and Arcane Energize. Ideally, instead of Energize, you have Arcane Aegis, but I don't have that. And then for your Exilis, you either want Power Drift, Prime Sure-Footed, or if you want it, you can throw on Mobilize for parkour velocity. And then for my Archon shards, which if you don't know what these are, don't worry about them. They don't affect you if you don't know what they are yet. But for Archon shards, I have 2 Amber, 2 Azure, and 1 Crimson. The Crimson, I have ability strength. Both blues are for energy maximum. And you can see here we're at 350 energy, so she kind of needs these with this build. And then we have 2 Amber for casting speed, because her 4's casting speed is atrocious. If you don't have Archon shards, you could swap out this for flow, but since I have them, I'll use them. And then if you don't want to subsume roar over your 3 and you want to keep the teleporter, here's the build for that. It's pretty similar. We have Brief Respite, Intensify for more strength, Continuity, Flow for your energy. Yeah, this is all exact same, except instead of Archon Vitality, you go with Flow. And then the build that I was going to mess around with, but I haven't gotten a second Jade yet, is instead of keeping Wormhole, putting Ophanim Eyes for a little bit of armor stripping and being able to AoE revive people with this build. But it's pretty much the exact same as this one, minus Intensify, because we have Augur Reach instead for more range for the eyes. And then same thing for all of these, you want Arcane Aegis over this. But I haven't messed around with this one. If you want to try it in the comments and let me know what you think, please do, because I want to try this one out. But this is the one that I'm working with today, which is our main. And then like I said before, our weapons, I'm going to recommend 2. I'm going to recommend Fulmin or Fulmin Prime if you have it, and Fellarx if you have it. Or really just any high base damage, like shotgun type of weapon. Because I tried it with Burst On and Fenmore and wasn't a huge fan. So the builds for Fellarx and Fulmin. Fellarx I'm working on still, but this is the one that I've been using just because it gives us a 9,000 base damage without these being maxed out or anything. But we have Point Blank, Hell's Chamber, which Galvanized Chamber would be better. Incendiary Coat, Shotgun Savvy, Galvanized Savvy would be better. Charged Shell, Chilling Grasp, Seeking Fury, and then I think Bane was supposed to go here. I'm not 100% sure. And then I have this one, which I was also working on, but it's a lot lower base damage, so this one I just need a Bane, and then upgrading all of these to the galvanized / better versions. but this one's the one that I've been using the most because it's got the highest base damage. And then for Fulmin, I've been using this build here, which I've got titled Nova. We have Serration for damage, Stormbringer for electricity, High Voltage for electricity, Rupture for impact, Hellfire for heat, Cryo rounds, Infected Clip for toxin, and Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, and then we have Primary Merciless. Now, if you don't want that, you could also run something like this, which is a Corrosive Radiation build, where you have Serration, Vital Sense, Infected Clip, Crit Delay, Galvanized Aptitude, Radiated Reload, Internal Bleeding, and Galvanized Chamber. Or, if you want, you could also run something like this, which is, I believe this one is built for your auto mode. I could be wrong on that. I don't remember what this one was for. But Galvanized Chamber, Galvanized Scope, Rhyme Rounds, Internal Bleeding, Vital Sense, Malignant Force, Rifle Elementalist, and Galvanized Aptitude. I believe this and this are the same build, but this one's more for statuses compared to this one's more for your flat damage. Oh, this one's Viral and Electric. This one's Corrosive Radiation, and then this one's what I would use on Nova personally, which is what I will show off. So, Nova, what you want to do, let's grab our energy and spawn our enemies. So, Nova, her cycle's kind of interesting, because you want to, if you need energy, you want to do this and speed everybody up. And then you want to keep Null Star active. You can see all the AoE on everybody. And then Roar for your damage buff. And then you shoot the ball. Once it's full, the room is gone. Let's go spawn these guys back in and I'll show you that again. There we go. Alright, come in. Speed everybody up. Spawn the ball. Shoot the ball. Blow up the room. So that's kind of what this build does for Nova. And I'll go ahead and switch to Felarx to show that comparatively. With the, this is an unfinished Felarx build for Nova, because I'm still working on getting some mods and things, but it should work all the same, because I've used it a little here and there. I honestly prefer Fulmin for this build, though. Alright, here we go. Null Star. Speed everybody up. Get Roar active. Get our ball. 3. And the room is cleared. So that's kind of how the build works for Nova. You just kind of blow up rooms with it. So, with that being said, we will move into the Steel Path section. I'm going to use Fulmin for showing off in Steel Path. And, yeah, I'll see you when we get there. Alright, now we are here in Steel Path, so that I can show you guys this, Nova build. We're gonna go ahead and pop Roar, and then get our Null Stars active. Slow down our enemies here. Actually, I'm going to speed them up. Get some energy orbs from these guys. Shoot this. Blow up the room. There we go. We'll leave the Necromite alone. There we go. And I said in my Frost video that Frost was my favorite at the time. Nova was the one I was using before Frost, that I ended up liking Frost over. Because Nova's really, really good. And you can just blow up entire rooms with her. But, I don't know, every now and then I like the Immortal playstyle that Frost gave me. Which this one does as well, if I'm being honest. Like, you saw me just nuke that entire room of people. Let's go ahead and speed these guys up. Get our ball. There we go. And they're gone. Let's get our ball. Let's get this dude out of here. I don't like these floating guys. And the room is clear. Minus that guy, the room is clear. But yeah, that's my build for Nova. This one shouldn't be too bad either. This one was pretty easy to put together. I think it's only like a 2-forma build, if any. And then pairing her with the Fulmin Prime, which this build should work on regular Fulmin if you have that instead. Because this build's just overall pretty solid to use on Nova. Okay, that thing's not going to go away. Let's get our Null Stars active. Let's remove this guy from existing. There we go. Let's go ahead and slow these guys down. Let's get our Meatball. Which also, with her Meatball, it does sort of kind of follow your cursor around. So you can kind of aim at the ball while it's flying. Ow. Rogue Necromech. Let's blow up the room here. Let's get rid of this guy. I will say with this build, the only enemies you'll really have an issue with, oh my gosh, are the Necromechs. You can see there's the damage we did to him. So if you're in somewhere around here, the Necromechs will give you a little bit of trouble. But nothing that's like game-ending trouble. They'll just take a little bit longer to take down compared to some other weapons. Oh. But, yeah. Necromechs, I'd say, are the bane for this build, realistically. Stop. But aside from Necromechs, you really shouldn't have any issues with this build in Steel Path. And honestly, you could probably level cap with this build if you wanted to, because it has everything that you really need. Like, it's got survivability with Brief Respite and everything like that. And then you've got your slow, you've got your room clears, you've got roar for damage. And then I would personally pair it with Fulmin Prime for now if you copy my builds. But if you have, like, the finished Felarx build I'm doing, which I'll make a video on it once it's finished, so that you can use that one for this instead. Because I do think Felarx is better overall comparatively to Fulmin Prime. But this one's serviceable and works just fine. You can see we're facing level 180s here and having no issues aside from the Necromech. But yeah, that's my build for Nova, which this is on default Nova as well. So if you have Nova Prime, this will probably go even better for you, because this is just on base Nova. But I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless. And if you did, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see more of, or see me do next. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.